much return you can make per year from it. And from there, determine what that can mean for retirement if you keep doing it over and over.
Okay.
Okay. So you buy a $100,000 property.
Mm-hmm.
What's that going to make per year if you paid cash?
This goes to cap rate, right?
Cap rate.
You always say 7%.
Like around 7%. So what does that mean in profit every single year?
$7,000?
$7,000. Great. So if you buy a $100,000 property, you should be able to make about $7,000 a year in cash flow if you paid cash flow. But we're going to take a loan on it. And let's say you put $25,000 down.
25%.
How much are you buying?
I'm sorry? What am I buying?
Borrowing.
75, of course.
So if you're going to borrow $75,000.
This is going to go up. The cap rate's going to go up because I'm not paying as much.
The cap rate is not based on any of that. The cap rate's always based on the purchase price and your profit. Once you borrow, cap rate is still going to be this, no matter what your debt level is.
Okay.
That's a great point to bring up, though. Okay. When you borrow $75,000, what's your mortgage payment going to be every month, pretty much? Like, what's the interest rate they're going to charge you for investment property?
Call it 5, right?
Let's go high. I think it's high right now.
Okay.
Well, let's call it
4?
Let's call it, 4.5. Let's be in the middle, okay? So I'm going to do my trusty, brilliant calculator. And I'm going to tell you, on a 30-year mortgage, to the 360 negative.
Just riveting footage here.
197.36.
Look at this. Look at him go.
So your payment every single month is going to be $380 a month.
Okay. This is after putting 25 down.
Yep. $380 a month. Okay. So you have your $7,000, and now you're paying $380 a month times 12. What is that? What is $380 a month times 12? $45.60?
Yes.
Okay. So now you're left with $45.60 in cash flow, right?
No. You're left with 24.40.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, sorry.
24.40 left.
24.40 left. What'd you put down?
25.
So what's your cash on cash return? And cash on cash return is
1%.
24.40.
Oh, wow. 10%.
Yes, 10%. It's 24.40 divided by your down payment. It's about 9.some%. Let's just call it 10%. But don't forget, you also paid down some of your principal here. That's still part of your profit. At 4.5% of 70, what's 4.5% times 75,000? That's your interest rate times how much you borrowed for the first year.
3,000.
So you paid $4,800 in $4,500 in interest, right?
Yeah.
In payments, I mean.
Yes.
And of that, $3,000 was interest. So you had $1,800 in profit on that. So remember, when you pay down your loan, you have a principal portion and an interest portion, right?
In the early parts, you're paying a lot of interest first.
Yes. The principal portion is considered profit because you can't deduct that.
Profit, okay.
So you have to add that profit into your cash flow for your total return on the deal. So 24.40 plus 1,800 is 42.40, right?
I hope.
So 42.40 divided by your $25,000 down payment. What does that return? What is that?
16.9.
16.9%. We'll call it 17%. You also did forget one thing. Your property also went up in value by 3%.
I was going to bring that up.
Over a long period of time, it'll go up in value by 3%. So on $100,000, what's 3% property value?
$3,000.
Okay. Now you have 42.40 plus $3,000 in principal in property appreciation divided by your 25,000. So remember, to break it down, your 42.40 was 24.40 in cash flow plus 1,800
off the principal.
In principal when you paid down your mortgage.
Plus 3,000 in appreciation.
And now you're adding 3,000 appreciation. It's 72.40 off 25 grand.
28.9.
Guys, 29% return by investing. Now let's say you're a moron.
I'm close.
Let's cut this mamma jamma in half.
15%.
Let's call it from taxes, everything, your income taxes, you making mistakes. Let's cut it down to 15%. I just want to be conservative because I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. I want you to sit there and say, okay, I'm going to pay my taxes. It's going to be about a third.
I've always thought you say conservative weird.
Conservative? Do I?
Don, he always says conservative instead of
Conservative?
conservative. But either way, keep going. I cut you off.
Conservative. I do say conservative. You're
It's
right.
been years, but you keep saying conservative.
Wow.
It's really funny.
I say liberal too.
Do?
No.
Smash that like button, subscribe if you love what Paul's saying. Paul,
I like
this
the way
is...
Paul says conservative.
Paul, I've been talking with you 3 times a day for years now.
I've showed you
This
this.
is blowing
Shut up.
my mind. Still,
showed you
though. To
this.
see the real numbers, though, is really
But it
blowing my mind.
isn't impressive. When you see the real numbers, you sit there and go, holy shit, I can make 29%. But again, you're going to have taxes. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to have your errors. Let's just call it 15%. That might sound, Paul, how are you going from 29 to 15? Hey, the tax man wants their money. That's going to be a third of that, right? Then you're down to 20% right there. And then you have to pay you have your mistakes, call it another 25. So you're down to 15%. Still pretty good though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna make 15% per year after taxes, roughly. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, now what does the stock market do every year after taxes?
10%?
After taxes. So the
7.5?
stock market does, so real estate is here, stocks here. Stocks do 10% a year before taxes. So let's call it 7% a year after. That's over double taxes. So the stock market
7.5?
does, so real estate is here, stocks here. Let's just call it 15%. That might sound, Paul, how are you going from 29 to 15? Hey, the tax man wants their money. That's going to be a third of that, right? Then you're down to 20% right there. And then you have to pay you have your mistakes, call it another 25. So you're down to 15%. Still pretty good though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna make 15% per year after taxes, roughly. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, now what does the stock market do every year after taxes?
10%?
After taxes. So the stock market
7.5?
does, so real estate is here, stocks here. Stocks do 10% a year before taxes. So let's call it 7% a year after. That's over double. You're gonna get double, 15 versus 7. Now, how does that matter in the long run? Okay, let's say you take the $25,000.
Okay, wow, this is
Now, this is where it gets very
frothy.
frothy. $25,000 a year. For 30 years. Okay, let's go real
700.
estate.
Okay.
Let's go stocks first. Versus real estate. Okay, now do you want me to show you the stupid equation?
Sure.
Okay, 25,000 times 1.07, and the 1.07 is 1 plus a 7% return after taxes to the power of 30 minus 1 divided by 0.07.
Okay.
This equals $2.4 million. Not bad. 30 years. So if you start at the age of 35 and go to 65, you save 25 grand a year, put it in stocks. After taxes, you'll end up with about 2.4 million.
Okay.
Okay, not bad, right?
What age are we starting?
35,
Okay. 30 years.
65.
Got
So
it.
30 years. Let's do the same thing, but with real estate over those 30 years.
Oh boy.
Now, 25,000. Now my return is 1.15. It's a 15% after tax to the 30th minus 1 divided by 0.15. Now what's that? What do you think the number is versus 2.4 million?
Well, a double. It's double, over double, right? So
The return is double.
It's
It
at
went
least
from
going to
7
be
to 15.
4.8 plus compounding interest. What are we talking? $6 million or something? What is this? That's a 10. $10 million.
Pretty much $11 million
This is a $25,000 deal every year.
every year. So figure yourself out if you're in your 20s and early 30s. And if you're 40, start. If you're 40, the whole point is it's still a better return.
Yeah, massively.
Massively better return. And you have tax benefits from this. This is 15%. Yeah, it's still going to end up being about a third in taxes, but you're going to get tax benefits on your other income. I'm not going to get into that right now. But this is huge. This is huge. Even if you pay no taxes here, you're going to be at like $4 or $5 million bucks. Paying no taxes here.
I see.
There's no way you're not going to pay no tax. You have to pay the tax man eventually, right? So that's how different. That's how big this gain is for real estate. Does that mean I think you should put all your money in real estate? No. There's still going to be people who go, Paul, I'm just too busy. I have a job I have to travel for. Okay, whatever it is. But the whole point is, this is the benefit of real estate. you can go generate off 25 grand an 8-figure net worth just off your real estate portfolio. So when you're 65, you're ready to retire, you go, you know what? I'd rather just, by the way, your check is gonna be way higher than 10.9. You're probably gonna be more like 12 or 13 or 14, you gotta pay the tax man. This is after taxes still. And you can go pay that tax bill. And now you have $11 million. Seth, could you live a good lifestyle at the age of 65 off $11 million?
I like nice things, Paul. Steaks and cars.
I know, you do. You do.
You do.
You do. So I look at this saying, this is how you make the money. And the funny thing is though, Seth, when you start at 35 or 55, this number is gonna be like $3 million, $4 million. It jumps up that quickly.
Yeah.
So you just gotta be patient. But if you just do one deal a year at $100,000 and put 25 grand down, this is what it could become. Now, that doesn't mean you become a slumlord and you ignore the property and let it go to shit. You still have to be a responsible owner. But the point is, if you are responsible, one of the benefits of stocks versus real estate, how much work does stocks take?
Nothing.
0. You buy an ETF, you're done. How much work does real estate take?
A ton.
A lot. But my question is, are you willing to do a little extra work to make 4 times the money after tax? You have to ask yourself that question. Some people might say no. I'm fine with that, because it's a lot of work up front. So up front, you're not making as big money. You're like, oh, sweet, I made $2,000 more this year. Great, awesome, right?
Yeah.
But here, it matters. In the long run, it matters. So if your mentality is long run, you need to be doing some sort of real estate. It's only 25 grand. Everybody who makes $100,000 a year can figure out a way to save 25 grand. It might sacrifice your lifestyle, but you got to figure out, is it worth it for me to have this lifestyle later? The age of 65 to 95, you're gonna live quite the lifestyle. I dropped that.
You dropped the mic. Thank you for joining us on the Everything Money channel. Smash that like button. If you're intrigued and you want help, Paul is available.
And also, ask the questions below if this is confusing. Because there are gonna be, you're gonna watch this and go, I don't get this. Or you might disagree with me. Great, come at me, dog, as they say. Like, I don't care. Just ask the question, be respectful about it. We've had some great questions. A lot of people being very respectful. I answer them very quickly. Even Don's like, man, I'm impressed how fast you answer them. Obviously, I mean, we have some videos with like 120 views and we'll have like 30 comments, you know what I mean? So the comment sections are very good, but this is very important because people don't believe this when I first show it to them. They're like, there's no way these numbers are correct. This is the equation. This is the equation, kids. You ask your accountant about this equation, he has no idea what it is. You ask your financial advisor, he just goes, what's math? He doesn't even know.
Right.
This is the equation for a future value of an annuity. $25,000 is the annuity. Not the annuity in the sense of the insurance product. This is what it is. And it's gonna be $11 million after taxes. I'm telling you right now. So especially for the young, and if you're older, it's never too late to start. If you're 50, trust me when I say you're gonna live to 95, if you're healthy, you're gonna live to 95, 100. So get started now. Maybe you're 50 and you make even more money and you have some money sitting on the sidelines, invest $50,000 a year, just catch up. Can I do those numbers real quick? Or should I not?
If you want to, go ahead.
No, I won't do it. Bottom line is, you have the time. You're still young enough to make 15% versus 7% after taxes. You're still young enough.
Thanks for joining us on the Everything Money channel. Subscribe.
You're 50?
Oh, this is my second cold close here.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Paul.
I'll even do it for just 15 years on the 50.
Here we go. This is bonus footage from the Everything Money channel after I try to close this thing down twice. I can't keep coming up with these closes all the time, boys. This is difficult stuff over here.
This is age 50
to
age 65. I'm just going to do age 50 to age 65. Age 50 to age 65. 15 years, that's it. After taxes, 1.2 million.
Starting at age 50?
Starting at age 50, just going for 15 years.
That's 11
you're
years for me.
15 years, you're investing $375,000 or something like that. You're still getting 1.2 million after taxes on it.
Still a lot of money.
It's still a lot of money.
You can live fine that way.
And if all those years you were investing 25 grand into stocks, now you add it into there, you're at 3.6 million bucks.
Incredible.
That's it.
Are we done now?
We're done.
Thanks for joining us on the Everything Money channel. Like and subscribe. See you guys. Hey everybody, it's Seth and Paul with the Everything Money channel. On this episode right now, Paul discusses what the hell inflation is, what it means, how does it grow, up, down, sideways, what it means for investors in the economy right now on the Everything Money channel. Let's do this, baby. Hey everybody, it's Paul and Seth with Everything Money Channel. Thanks for joining us today. Today, Paul, you're going to talk about inflation. Kind of a confusing topic for normal people, I think, especially myself, most of my peers. It sounds bad. It's kind of good. Tell us about your thoughts.
So this came up because our good friend, DJ Access, Mike Salone, called me yesterday, and he was floored that I answered the phone. I said, well, yeah, but it doesn't say Seth. I answer the phone.
Right, got it.
So, so he called me yesterday, and he was talking about some of the videos. Then he said, hey, Paul, let me ask you a question. He goes, am I just crazy, or should I be worried about inflation because they're printing all this money and blah, blah, blah. I took Econ 101 and blah, 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 blah. It's a valid point. The point he was trying to make was the more money we print, the more inflation occurs.
Now, Elon Musk got hung out to dry last week because he said something in a tweet to the effect of, I don't think we should be doing another
Stimulus package. Whatever
and all of my friends, you know who they are, Paul.
Yeah.
They just start laying into this guy. What a greedy asshole. He said it's something to the effect of it's not best for us in the long run.
That is correct.
And that's what I thought too. Well,
we've talked about this before.
You're getting me to think in terms
well,
of
I mean, listen, everything can be a good or bad thing. Like you said before about inflation is good, is it bad? I don't know. Everything can be good or bad. The question is, what's the surrounding story behind it, right? So this stimulus package, so what we're trying to do here, so it's 10, 12 years ago, we built out the banks. And I remember thinking back then, we're gonna have a lot of inflation. It never happened. I mean, the last 15